AOC, I think similar to Derek Carr, there's just in Raider Nation, there's just a huge polarization when it comes to, people who really support Aidan O'Connell. We have a lot of those guys in our comment section and respect to them, but there's also a few who are just like, they want to move on to the next guy without even thinking. Like they're like, oh yeah, we want to trade up for Jaden Daniels or go get Michael Penix I feel like they're not really analyzing the situation. So breaking it down, like Aidan has his pros and cons. And cons, like Rashawn mentioned earlier, like he doesn't have the mobility. Like I know he can run a little bit. He can run more than Derek Carr could. He's more willing to do that, but he's not going to be Lamar Jackson or Mahomes. Like just his escapability out of the pocket. Like, and I don't think that's something that he can really improve on, but I think that's okay. You don't really need that to win a Super Bowl. We've seen guys like Brady, like Peyton Manning, who they're not running it all and they're winning games. So taking that aside, his arm strength I think is pretty elite. When you look at Derek Carr, who he was the benchmark for us for 9 years, his deep ball was, he was always lame duck deep balls that would always come up short and underthrow the receiver. Aidan O'Connell doesn't have that problem. He's got a rocket arm, and I think his accuracy to his ball placement is pretty elite. There was these 2 throws against the Chiefs. Jacoby Myers, he threw this one fade route over the left side, and then this one deep ball. I think we were down 4 at that point. So, he's got the ball placement, and he's done it in pretty big games so far. I think the one thing, or you could say the 2 things that he has to really improve on is, I would say reading defenses, and that, of course, is going to come with time. We showed a little bit in terms of going through his progressions, but I think, with a better coordinator in Luke Getsy, he's going to be able to get better at reading those defenses. And I think his pocket awareness too, which also comes with experience. It seems like when you look at Brady, he wasn't mobile, but when there was pressure around his feet, he always knew where to sort of step up in the pocket, when to slide, and he sensed those defenders. And I think with Aidan, that's going to come with time. And he's got all the tools, you could say. He's a big quarterback, like I said, big arm. So once he sort of develops those other traits, you could see a pretty big progression. So yeah, I think these fans who just want to move on to the next guy.
Remember, Luke Getsy is bringing in a whole new playbook. That's going to be Aidan O'Connell's going to be learning it all offseason. Last year, he was kind of just thrown into the fire of, okay, one game with Josh McDaniels, but then that playbook still carried over to Bo Hardegree. Bo Hardegree didn't make a whole new system in 2 weeks after the Lions game when he got named interim coordinator. He didn't just make a new playbook. He just took Josh McDaniels' plays and kind of just, changed it around. They didn't change the offense at all. So now we'll see in the offseason if Luke Getsy can get Aidan O'Connell, to move a little bit more. And I think definitely in practice out there burning out in Las Vegas, they'll have him, running around. Otherwise, he's just going to burn out there. He got to move. He got to move, and he's going to move in practice, and that's going to translate over to the game.
With Aidan O'Connell, a couple of points. One, it's an unofficial stat, but he is supposed to be 1/10 of a second faster than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes' stat came from the combine when he was getting drafted. AOC's came from, I think it's Pro Day or something at Purdue. So it's an unofficial stat, but he is technically faster than Patrick Mahomes. The difference between him and Patrick Mahomes is just more physically elusive. He's able to get out of sacks. He's able to contort his body, move. He has, rapid fire reflexes and a great sense of pocket awareness. That's something that Aidan O'Connell needs to work on. But you've seen him under pressure, and this is where I've seen a lot of comments of people saying that he's terrible under pressure. But if you look at his touchdown to Davante Adams, I think it was in I think it was the second meeting with the Chargers, where he's backpedaling about 7 steps and has pressure right in his face, and he throws the perfect floater that only Davante Adams can catch in the back of the end zone right there. And then the other one where he steps up into the pocket and then cuts out to his right and hits Michael Mayer in the flat for yet another red zone touchdown. This is what Aidan O'Connell can do. And when a quarterback is comfortable in the system, that's when you start to see their true potential. Just like we were talking earlier, how Cam Newton was saying the speed of the game in the NFL is so much faster than college. and you have such less time to make decisions in the NFL. You'll see guys in college have 5, 6, 7 seconds to make a decision where they're going to throw the ball, and their receivers get wide open. We've seen Jaden Daniels do this over and over and over again, where he's just sitting back in the pocket because he's got a great offensive line. Or Michael Penix Jr., who had the best offensive line in college last year, routinely have 7 seconds to sit back there and just pick apart defenses. In the NFL, if you don't get rid of that ball within 3 seconds, or you're not moving out of the pocket to add an additional 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, you're sacked. And so
just want to thank today's sponsor, Earth Elixir, a proudly owned and operated company by a Raiders lifelong fan. And Earth Elixir gives you all of the natural supplements you could ever want to help you sleep better, feel better, and even increase your natural testosterone without having to do TRT. So click the link down in the description and get 15% off just for the Raider D family.
With Aidan O'Connell, what we've really seen towards the end of the season is his ability to understand that, okay, my time's up. I need to move around. And he started to do that. And that's why I said I'm very high on Aidan O'Connell, because if he can continue that type of progression with the arm talent that he has and the noggin that he has, you're going to Purdue. This is not a school for dummies. He is a very cerebral, very smart quarterback. And as we know, that's part of the game. That's 90% of being a quarterback in the NFL, is having that intelligence and to understand. Now, with that, I'll make one more point, is the Raiders went and did something that is very telling as to how much support they're going to give Aidan O'Connell by drafting Brock Bowers. Now, it was not expected that Brock Bowers would fall to us at 13, but the second he did, it was a no-brainer. The best gift you can give to any quarterback in the NFL is a dominant over-the-middle tight end, receiving tight end, because it's way easier to throw over the middle of the field in a straight line than it is to hit somebody 30, 40 yards down the field on the sideline. That's a much harder pass to make than just dumping it off 10, 15 yards right in front of your face, right? And so now we have Brock Bowers, who's going to be dominating the middle of the field, and Michael Mayer in a twin-headed, monster tight end set. And so I think you're going to see Aidan O'Connell really flourish. And the key point of that is everybody gives Patrick Mahomes all the credit for the Chiefs. He's a good quarterback. There's no doubt about that. When Tyreek Hill left and went to Miami, they said, nope, they're done. They just got rid of their best weapon. Well, they won another Super Bowl without him. How did they do that? Because his primary weapon has always been and will always be Travis Kelce. Just like Tom Brady always, no matter who the receivers was, he would still win games by throwing it to who?
Robbie Gronkowski.
A tight end. So the best friend of any quarterback is a great running game and a fantastic dominant tight end. We now have 2 of them on our team. I can't see how any of these talking heads would say that the Raiders are going to finish last in the AFC West, that it's going to be a easy game against the Raiders. Are you kidding me? We have the most dominant defensive line, probably top 3 defense overall, and you have a quarterback who can make every throw on the field, and you just added our very own Travis Kelce to the Raiders, and we got 2 of them. We got baby Gronk and we got baby Kelce.
And don't
what
forget,
more do you need?
We have an all-pro receiver on the outside, number 17, who's gonna have a great year this year, because, like you said, those 2 tight ends running down the middle of the field, there's going to be a one-on-one almost every time with Devontae Adams, and he's going to be able to go up and get the ball. And Devontae can catch the ball, you know that. So if he gets those one-on-ones, and he has the best footwork, I think, of any receiver in the NFL. I haven't seen better footwork from a receiver. It's just last year we saw, especially in that Lions game, when Jimmy G missed that throw on 3rd and 1, we were at our own 10, and Devontae absolutely cooked the cornerback, and Jimmy G misses the throws behind him. Incomplete, punt, game over.
BlackRainOfficial.com. That is BlackRainOfficial.com. blackrainofficial.com. Go get your shirts and your posters today. And also make sure that you're signing up for the newsletter, as there's lots of exciting things that are going to be coming down the pipeline and you're not going to want to miss out on it. So that is blackrainofficial.com.